So recently I read Never Finished by David Goggins. It's his second book after Can't Hurt Me. And I want to share with you a quick sum up and what I learned from reading this book. So, let's go. David Goggins is a retired Navy SEAL and the only member of US Armed Forces to complete SEAL training, Army Ranger School and Air Force Tactical Controller training. He is an ultramarathon runner. He ran more than 70 ultra-distance races and he is often in the top 5. He is also a motivational speaker and he wrote 2 books. The first one, Can't Hurt Me, and this one, Never Finished. His books are about his life experiences and his life philosophy. Before we talk about Never Finished, we need a little bit of backstory, so let's talk a little bit about his first book, Can't Hurt Me. So in the first book, David Goggins talks about his hard childhood. He was abused by his father and he has a really rough childhood. When he was around 7 years old, his mother left his father, so he grew up with a lot of insecurities and a lot of struggles. At 24 years old, he was fat and lost and he was doing a job that he hated. And one day, he was in the couch eating donuts or whatever, and he saw a documentary about Navy SEALs. And he decided that this is exactly what he wanted to do. So he started to call some recruiter, but everyone was laughing at him because he was so fat. Some recruiter even told him, "You are fat and black." In 70 years, there was only, I think, around 35 or 36 black Navy SEALs. So he disciplined himself and he was very focused to achieve this goal. And in 3 months, he lost a lot of pounds. So one of the recruiters accepted him to do the training. The training was supposed to be 6 months. But he stayed 18 months because he failed Hell Weeks 2 times, so he did 3 Hell Weeks. Hell Weeks are very hard Navy SEAL training, so he did it 3 times. And in the 3rd time he completed the training and he became a Navy SEAL. And after that he started to run and he ran a 100-mile ultra marathon without any training. It was the most difficult experience he ever did. And this was the turning point of his life because he understood that he was capable of so much more and he left too much on the table. So he kept going with this warrior mentality and he achieved so much. He did Army Ranger School and Air Force Controller training and ran more than 70 ultra races and became the legend that he is now. I recommend you to read Can't Hurt Me first, then Never Finished, because this is like the backstory, it's like the memoir. In Can't Hurt Me, he stays in the surface. It's just an introduction of the power of the mind. And in Never Finish, he takes us in his mental lab, where he talks about his philosophy, his strategy to become mentally strong. In Never Finish, there's 9 chapters and 8 evolutions. The evolutions are like the sum up, the takeaway from the chapter. All the strategy and techniques that he teaches. Of course, there's takeaways in the chapters, but this is where you have the storytelling that is absolutely fabulous. He takes us back in 2018 when he was at the Veteran of Foreign Wars National Convention to receive the VFW prestigious Americanism Award. He explained what went through his mind when he couldn't talk and started to cry. It was very touching to read about his life flashing before his eyes. So he froze and couldn't utter a word. I think it was very nice that he talked about this because he is known as the toughest guy in the planet. And here we see a little bit of emotion, so he talked about what went through his mind and I think it's a very kind of emotional part, so he started with this. So when he became an adult, he met his dad again, but it was a little bit awkward, it was off, let's say. He was actually looking for something to blame. He says that his father took his power. He was looking for excuses of why he was fucked up and lost in life. But we are responsible of where we are in life. No matter what happened to us, we are responsible because we are our own obstacles. As he says in the book, we must act like medics. We don't have time, we have to react quickly because time doesn't stop for us. This part is very funny. In one of the evolution, David Goggins talks about recording yourself when you don't want to do anything. For example, when you wake up and you have to study or go for a run or work out, you have to record yourself and listen to your excuses. And he says that you will cringe and it become awkward and you will end up actually doing the thing that you're supposed to do. He says that the way we talk to ourselves is crucial in moment of doubt. So make sure that you say positive things to yourself. So make sure to record yourself and listen to your excuses and stop them and do your thing. He really gives us a strategy about doing this. He says that you have to record yourself in the morning when you are feeling down Lay down and pretend that you are motivating a friend or loved one, and this will change your approach to negativity and make sure you go through your whining. I think that the funniest thing is that he recorded himself reading bad comments and he listened to them. He actually used the negative emotion, he transformed it to positive emotion. He used it as a fuel for progress. And I found this very, very funny. This is probably my favorite takeaway from the book. Many dreams dies while suffering. When you are in the verge of quitting, he talks about the 1 second decision. When you are in the verge of quitting, take a knee, take a deep breath, analyze where you are, analyze where you want to be, and then take a decision to keep going forward, because most of the time we just react emotionally. So you have to be more pragmatic and evaluate the situation before taking any quick decision. Look where you are and look what you want to become. Then make the decision. So he goes in details and he says exactly what you should do. He says, when you are in the battle, in the middle of the battle, tell yourself, I'm good, I'm great. This sucks, but it will be over in 20 minutes. It doesn't matter if it's 20 minutes or 20 days or 20 hours or 20 months, but it will end. So don't take decision too quick. Take a deep breath. Think about where you are, what you want to become. He goes in depth and he talks about the 1 second decision when he was in the cold water, in the Pacific Ocean, when he did Helwix. I think that it's my favorite takeaway. It's really, really good and really well explained. And Goggins takes us with him in his Leadville ultramarathon, 100 miles. The storytelling is very, very good. It's like you are with him. It's very well written. He ran this ultra in 2019. And I have a great quote. Your strongest moment make you think about your weakest. He was referring to when he was a child. He has a play in school. When he was a child, he was stuttering very, very, very bad. So the teacher only gave him one line to say in the play. But he couldn't say anything. He froze in the stage and he felt hopeless. So he just quit the stage feeling hopeless. He was thinking about this particular moment when he was running the Leadville 100 miles. And as a runner, I totally agree with him. When you run, you feel strong, but sometimes you think about your weakest moment because you want to be better. Those weakest moments fuel me and push me to go forward. David talks about his mother. She was a prisoner of her trauma. He didn't want to be like her. He used her as an example. He also talked about anger. Anger to him is not only a negative emotion. It can be used to break the walls that make you a prisoner. Discipline is really something that I struggle with. It's really the thing that I want to develop. And why I love David Goggins, it's because he embodied the word discipline. This guy is a beast. And in the book there's a chapter that I absolutely love. It's called Disciple of Discipline. And his discipline comes from his grandfather, Sergeant Jack. When he was a child, every morning he woke up at 5:30 and he has chores to do, like a list of tasks that he have to do every single day. And this is build discipline at young age. But after that he lost it, but it came back stronger than ever. So his childhood with his grandfather really forged within him discipline. And when he grew up, this discipline came back very, very strong. Disciple of Discipline is maybe one of my favorite chapters. He really go in depth in his childhood and how he was living with his grandfather and how it was hard for him. But when he grew up, he understood that this is the best gift he ever had from his grandfather. It's discipline. He also talked about accountability because in the chapter when he ran the ultramarathon 240 miles, he got lost because of the pacer. But he never said it's because of the pacer. He said, I'm responsible of everything, because he could check the GPS and find his way, but he put his trust on the pacer. So the story of Moab 240 miles is very, very, very good. He talks about getting smacked in the face, I think, because he got sick, he got lost, he didn't prepare very well. The story is very interesting because he officially didn't finish the race, but he woke up and wanted to finish it because he wanted to feel a sense of achievement and satisfaction. Do you know the saying? You are the 5 person that you spend your time with. So in the book, David Goggins called it the foxhole. So the foxhole is the people around you, the people that push you forward and the people that you push forward. So you have to be very, very careful to choose the people that are around you in your daily life. I mean, don't become a sociopath, but there's obviously bad influence out there and you don't want to be with those people. Choose people that will make you better and that will help you, and vice versa. According to David Goggins, you need the oath to live your life. My personal oath is Discipline is a way of greatness. I will live by it, and when I fail, I will come back to it. And David Goggins' quote is, I live with a day one, week one mentality. This mentality is rooted in self-discipline, personal accountability, and humility. While most people stop when they're tired, I stop when I'm done. In a world where mediocrity is often the standard, my life's mission is to become uncommon amongst the uncommon. So you need an oath to live your life, because your oath is like a compass that will guide you. Tell me what's your oath in the comment. By the end of the book, he talks about a surgery that went bad, a knee surgery, and he couldn't run anymore. He couldn't do anything physical. But he searched and he found a doctor, and in, I think, around June 2020, he finally found something. He did another surgery that seemed to work, but the period of healing was too long. But he didn't care. After only 13 weeks of recovery, he did 444 miles on the bike. Crazy. His knee felt better and better, so he started to recover very, very well. He talks about greatness and that we put people in a pedestal, and greatness is accessible to anyone. You just have to put the hard work. He finished the book by talking about his journey to become a North Peace smoke jumper. And he talks about that you can become the person that can demonstrate greatness to people. It doesn't matter where you come from, your gender, your beliefs, your religion, your culture. You can show greatness. You can be great. You can make everyone around you think differently. I also watched some podcasts with Joe Rogan and this guy, I don't remember his name. And I think that watching podcasts is great because I have another view and it's more like raw because he talks, and I think it's great. You can read the book, and also podcasts are great. I truly love the book. It's like a movie. Sometimes we are in the present, sometimes we are in his childhood, and the storytelling is just amazing. And of course, there's a lot of takeaways and great strategy to apply in your life. People may say that this is just another self-help book, but in my opinion, his life story, his experiences, his savagery make him very, very different. As he says, this is not a self-help book, but it's a wake-up call. I think that this is true. This is a wake-up call. I think the reason why David Goggins resonates with millions of people around the world is because of his raw honesty and no bullshit. We can say that with Can't Hurt Me, he's done. This is a New York Times bestseller. Maybe he's done. He has nothing else to prove. But he's never finished, because even in the last June 2022, he was jumping from a plane because he's a smoke jumper. And I think he lived what he preached. After this book, he did multiple ultramarathons, like crazy number, like 240 miles. This is why I like him, because he lived the life that he preached. I'm not a fanboy, but I really respect his discipline and his work ethic. He is just the nearest of what a superhero can be, I think, in real life. If you want to buy the book, there's a link in the description. Thank you for watching this video. You can like and subscribe, drop a comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, and stay hard!